morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to Market Check, brought to you by BB. My name is Max, and I'm the CEO of Because Bitcoin. The title of today's show is I Can Remain Solvent Longer Than the Market Can Chop Me Up. All right, I'm not alone today. I don't know where my team was.
Sorry, we were cooking on the call.
You were cooking on the call. So they're in the Discord call, but I was like, you know what? The clock struck zero. It was time to get rolling. But yeah, now we got Snorlax here. But we're gonna have some fun today. Like I was saying, the title of today's show is I Can Remain Solvent Longer Than the Market Can Chop Me Up. Market check. Well, we're gonna figure out exactly how long that is. We're gonna debate a whole bunch of things, hang out, generally have a great time. But I'll tell you, it's like a Chinese water torture. This range is just like it's slow, it's tedious. You think it's going to end and then it doesn't. Nobody wins. Bears start getting loud at the lows, bulls start getting loud at the highs. Everybody seems to lose. But Tommy, man, I want to get some thoughts from you because normally you're the intro guy, but what are you seeing out there?
Yeah, no, I mean, we had a sell-off, I guess, driven just by general PCE posts de-risking. I didn't even see the data, but I'm assuming it was slightly bad because we usually have a little sell-off on the day that usually happens. So what usually happens is it's a dip for buying, though. So I have to imagine once the dust settles on what we're seeing right now in equity markets, Bitcoin and ETH, you probably will still see that bid come back. And I'm talking about like ETH more so than anything, because I still think that that's probably the market and really the overall sector, not just ETH, but ETH beta, like base chain. And I'm sure you could boil it down to a lot more granularity than that, but really the ETH rotation is still my focus at the moment. ETH memes, all that good stuff, but that's still what I assume is going to be the first to bid after this sell-off, locally speaking, is done. I did say on our Discord call yesterday that maybe you get 3,600, 3,650 again. I still think that's a big maybe. I don't know if we'll even get that low. Should continue to sell off today, but I think I'm still in the camp that all dips are forbidding until we see a pretty significant shift in structure.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that because we're not seeing any real break of structure. It's just like this annoying little like micro bleed. I mean, look at Bitcoin here. So just looking at the chart, let's just even start on like the 4-hour. Okay. Yes, it may look a little bit heavy locally, right? But I look at something like this in the simplest of terms, and I'm like, well, technically, we're kind of just holding support, Like, what up, big country?
How we doing, boys?
You look like a beast today, man. You should be on the beach.
I know. I don't know why. This is what I was wearing the other day on Memorial Day, so
Yeah, I mean, I look at this. I'm just kind of like, yeah, it like doesn't look amazing, but this doesn't look bad, It's just like this annoying little choppy bleed. I don't know. We'll draw a little normie trend line here. We'll get normie with it. That's fine. I would say my only major concern about this market at all right now is that you see all these grifter celebrities suddenly coming back, dropping like contracts and stuff. We had Caitlyn Jenner drop a contract. We had apparently Iggy Azalea dropping some contract. I think Soulja Boy was running like a meme coin space or something. So I'm starting to see either the very early signs of celebrity interest coming back, which means retail's coming back, which is a good thing, or it's over.
Yeah, there's really no in between, is there?
I think it plays favorably to what we've kind of been, I think, gravitating more and more towards, which is where you have two huge cycle peaks within one broader cycle of, right now, I would say this cycle is probably more speculative, whereas I think the next cycle is more than likely to be adoption driven. From a liquidity inflow standpoint, you're already seeing those inflows reach Bitcoin. You will see them reach ETH. I think it's only a matter of time before, you know, that push for adoption, not just in America, but globally, you know, continues to play out over a broader time horizon. So I am in the camp that we are probably going to see like 2 cycle peaks. So it's not surprising that we're starting to see, I think quite a bit of, I mean, we can call it froth, right? Froth as far as celebrities being interested in crypto go for maybe that first cycle peak. Not saying that that's here, but from a time standpoint, we're probably getting, you know, maybe closer, maybe something to think about.
Okay, so let me ask you for a little bit more on that because I kind of agree with you. Like I've always been in the camp this entire cycle that from what I can see out there, we are ahead of schedule. All right. We are there's no question in my mind that we're ahead of schedule. You could see the very early signs of it back when Bitcoin, like even before the ETFs were approved, that we were slightly ahead of schedule. Then, of course, we get a new all-time high for Bitcoin before a halving, which had never happened before, and we're continuing on that path of being maybe a few months ahead of schedule. I've always been leaning towards there's going to be a risk-off event much later this year. I can say with confidence I don't think it's right here, but I think it's probably going to be like Q4. There's going to be a risk-off event of some sort, whether it's technically driven, whether it's some macroeconomic catalyst. I don't really know. I'd like to ask you, and we won't hold you too accountable. We're just speculating because you mentioned this idea of like a cycle within a cycle, which we've seen before. It's not uncommon to see that. What are you thinking right now in regards to timing? Like, do you think that we're going to see a risk off event earlier than Q4, or are you thinking later this year or even early next year?
I mean, that's tough because I do think it will be centered around the election, right? Like whether you get it before or after, you probably will have some sort of risk off. I would have to imagine you probably see it before the election. You know, your quote unquote, maybe you get your first cycle peak before the election. I'm assuming that in this scenario, Bitcoin has put in some sort of higher time frame leg, likely above 100K by this point, you know, to trigger such an event. Otherwise, I would just say, you know, you probably have a rather small de-risking event, and maybe we can talk about, you know, what that, if that first or second cycle peak theory is still valid. But no, I do kind of think if you are going to see 2 major cycle peaks, you see one around the election, and then you're going to see one that's going to be more based from liquidity, and it's going to be the blow off top that I think a lot of people are expecting to occur this year, just because it will be like the projected top for liquidity for this upcoming macro cycle is, I think, 2026, 2027. So that's kind of what I have my eye on potentially for the second top, maybe like 2026, maybe 2027. But perhaps we could see something beforehand, right around the election. It's just a working theory, but you know, we'll
Tommy,
see.
how do you feel about studying 2013?
As in 2 cycle peaks?
In a double peak, yeah, like that.
I mean, I definitely think you could see it, right? Like we don't have the same just dispersion of liquidity that we had in 2021 yet, but I think we all know that we're going to eventually have it, whether we have it in 2024 or whether we have it in like 2026. I think that's more a matter of probably high time frame, you know, timing and based on liquidity. Whereas what we're seeing right now this year has been driven by ETFs. It's been driven by, you know, TradFi, getting into Bitcoin and probably ETH specifically.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Moisturized Jackus.
Moisturized Jackus. How you doing?
I overcooked.
Were you still cooking in there just now?
Yeah, I was cooking until now.
Oh my god. Did you burn the food, Jackus? Did you burn it?
Man, it was a 7. Well, I do not know how to say this, but like when you have many takes, right? Like when you go to a restaurant and then you have like the something before the lunch, and then you have the lunch, and then you have
Many
after the lunch.
courses.
Many courses, exactly. So it was a 7 courses meal. It went all the way until Andrew was like, guys, I gotta go give market check. So, man, I loved Hagrid's fashion. Like that's
Thank you, Jackus. Thank you. Few appreciate. Few.
no, yeah, I like it, and I like that. Like each time Tucker comes here, and he's original with his fashion. Like,
Can't pin me down, Jackus.
love it.
So what I've done here is I've marked out the most recent U.S. elections right here. So interesting, right? Interesting. Kind of looks like the Bitcoin halvings, but these are the oops, the 2024 one is off. This needs to be October, November, so roughly around here. So these are all the US presidential elections right here. I wonder if Satoshi had this in mind with the Bitcoin halvings or something. Maybe it's just random.
Facts. I've discussed this in the past with the having lining up almost exactly with the election every single time.
Yeah, so actually let me throw on the halvings. I have them saved. So here's
At
the
least
Bitcoin
year
halvings.
wise.
Here's the Bitcoin halvings, and then the blue lines are the presidential elections. Interesting, right? Very interesting. But I don't know. I mean, I was asking Tommy about this idea of like maybe a mid-cycle correction or a cycle within a cycle. I'm kind of leaning towards them propping the markets up into the election. I think they have to, honestly. Like I don't think that the Democrats here in the US will have much of a chance if the markets are aggressively correcting into the election. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking that maybe we just do what we've always done, right? And I mean, we could maybe put in a peak around the election. I mean, that happened in 2020. I mean, right after the election. I mean, look, new president. Well, in theory, right? New president takes office January following, the November elections. And I mean, look what happened to financial markets, in 2020. New president takes office. Look what happens. I mean, we basically peaked out here more or less in March for Bitcoin, and then it was down only for the majority of the presidency. So,
Well, if you look too, you have upside pretty much after the presidential election. At least last cycle, you had upside for at least a year, right? Cycle prior to that, you had upside for at least a year. And cycle prior to that, you had upside for at least a year. So I think going into a presidential election and getting a new president, regardless of who it is, I know a lot of people have different feelings about that, but your feelings don't care about the facts. The facts are all on the chart. Um, Regardless of who that president is, when we get that new president, you're probably going to see upside for at least a year. And
Guys,
so I can't unsee that.
I have one off topic, but it's really a lovely message that one of our regular viewers, and I would have you in the chat if you are watching, and I suppose you are, to say it's you, because under actually the quoted post from you, Max, when you posted, the truth is that most will mess up this next part. I'm exhausting myself, right? The one that I quote tweeted.
oh yeah.
So one of the guys came in under and commented. I actually sent it in the private chat here. He says, "I love you guys. My biggest achievement in crypto will always be learning from Because Bitcoin team, not the money I will make. Showing up live daily with so much knowledge and data is truly astonishing. It takes a lot of passion and efforts to produce this level of content." So this belongs to all of us here, guys, in the panel, and I just wanted to say it loudly to all of you. And I'm really grateful for people taking their time and writing this feedback to us, because that's really what keeps us going, and it's really nice. Just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Yeah, that is really cool. I just put it up there on my chart. Thank you so much, Fire Fist. That's really cool of you. That's really cool of you to mention that because we put in hours, as you can tell. We
Yeah.
as a unit, we don't have any quit in us. We show up every single day. We're hungry. We're passionate about this work. So, you know, it's cool to know that we're making a difference in your life. You know, that's really cool. I love when people send me messages and some guy the other day, he was like, "Hey, I put $250 into Andy, and that was a lot of money for me, and now it's like $3,800. You changed my life." Like that's just so great to hear. Like I love hearing about making an impact, making a
Yeah.
difference. Thank you for this.
There was also a question from Bruegel. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And he said, "Isn't the money keeps you going?" So
No.
I want to address that. No, it is. It is. I'm going to address that, right? So what keeps us going is both the money and the feedback and the what like we are passionate about doing, because it cannot be one or the other. In life, if you are a footballer, right, you are going to enjoy the money, but you are also going to enjoy that you love playing football. It cannot be one or the other. If you have someone that's only going to play football because of the money, he's not going to be a good footballer. All right. And if you're gonna have a good footballer who would not be making money, yeah, he would not have time or energy to do this. The same here, or within everything. Good work needs to come, like you need to be compensated for the work that you are providing for the world in both terms of money and energy. At the end, it's energy, right? Like money is just energy as well, as Sailor says. That would be another topic, but like what keeps you going, right? So you can be most hearted man, but if you're gonna do that and it's not going to feed you and your family, it's actually not a good thing to do, right? Like I've tried providing value on my Twitter for years, and I had legit $0 for my Twitter for years, and it exhausted me, drained energy from me, and that was not good because then I wasn't able to provide good content. Now I do believe I found a good balance, and I think everyone is benefiting in that regard. I kind of do hope that makes sense, but everyone should find in life something they are passionate about, something that they enjoy and is making them happy. But at the same time, they need to find a way to monetize it. Otherwise, it's not going to be a good relationship, in my opinion. I do hope that's a fair answer to you, right? And everyone out there.
No, I definitely agree with that, Jack. It's funny because a lot of it's funny, a lot of people I know that come into markets and trading. Not saying that this is anybody on the panel, but they kind of get started and they're like, okay, trading is the quickest way to make the most amount of money, which if you've spent any like reasonable amount of time trading, that's actually not even remotely true. But what ends up happening is in their pursuit of fast money and ultimately probably lazy, I mean, probably a little bit of laziness too, right? They fall in love with the game and they actually, become workaholics. So I think that's kind of like an interesting dynamic, and speaks to what you just said. Like you gotta love the game, man. Especially if you're
Yeah.
gonna be doing this for multiple years in crypto, which is 24/7. It's not even like you can technically always have weekends off. So yeah, you gotta love.
And then another thing, Tillman, to add to that is I also do not believe you cannot do this, well, at least for a longer period of time, just for the money, right? Like if we were to just do this for the money, then you would just scam, right? Like the scammers, they just do it for the money. They have no morals, right? They do not care about anything. I do not believe that scamming can make anyone happy. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I do not know. But like if you were to just make money, and some people are, but I do not think it's a fulfilling life at the end of the day. So it always needs to be a balance between both parties. And I do not think people should be ashamed of making money. I think like it's if you are making money, in a legitimate way, of course, then that means you are providing service for the world, right?
Yep. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, I certainly I definitely agree with all that. Like I require that I make money. I have a family. But it gets to a certain point where, eventually you're not really like changing your life or you don't need it as much. And like I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily there, but um money is not like the main driver, right? Like it's kind of a game for me. Like I enjoy playing the game, but um I don't know. Like it's this I'm just passionate about this. Like I feel like it's a giant puzzle and I get to like figure it out every single day. And for that, it's really fun for me. Like I don't go out to bars, I don't, party, I don't do anything. I'm not even super social. Like this is my version of like socializing and hanging out. I get to just
Yeah.
nerd out and talk about the charts with my friends. So it's a passion,
I
it's
mean,
like a big game.
Yeah.
what better way to be excited about doing things other than making money? Because if you can make money, you can do anything. And I think a lot of people don't understand that concept. They think having fun before money, when really you should front run the money and then have fun later.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always been my mo, or at least my perspective. Family or no family, I think that you should always try and get your finances straight first, and then work on having fun later. Because your later years in life is where you retire. It's where you have fun, right? It's where you live the things that you never got to live when you were younger. And if you do that when you're broke and old, you're not going to be able to do much.
You
So
need to study family, Will. That's what everybody needs to do.
For sure. Well, Bruegel says, I understand that you do it for appreciation and to help people, but their initial motive is to earn money. Otherwise, you wouldn't charge money for your knowledge sharing. So, like, sure, but like it goes hand in hand, right? Like, is a carpenter or the fireman, like they're also charging money for their service. At the same time, it's hopefully fulfilling their life for what they are doing because they are helping out people, right? And so it's like they are doing it for the money too. And would you want a fireman to do it for free and then live under a bridge, right? Like, so like if you are passionate about helping people, just be a fireman and don't get any wage, right? So he's also doing it for the money, but he's also doing it to help people. We are here for the money. We are here to help people. It's a perfect combination, in my opinion.
What do you guys think about this? Are we on to something?
But before we jump into the mass, I love that Shawwape. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. So sorry, it says 16-year-old me disagrees with Jake. And that's exactly it. Like when you are younger, you do not get lots of stuff. You do not get wages. You do not get taxes, right? And so forth. And then, well, once you actually get to pay for yourself and everything and provide a service for the world, then you'll start getting these principles.
Wait, hang on. I think I was working on a chart. Why did we raise the price for memberships? Bro, the reason we raised price for membership is because we had too many members that the Discord was becoming a nightmare to manage. So
Yeah.
we intentionally did it to deter people from joining. Like,
Yeah.
like that's the truth. Like we had so many people join so fast, we couldn't get to the messages. We couldn't
Yeah.
even like hang out with the people in the community. I would have had to hire like 5 moderators full time just to
I
hang out.
myself had 20 VC questions that I couldn't get to. I was getting through them the whole week.
It's crazy. It was crazy. So we were like, okay, like we can either cap it and like close memberships or just increase the price. And we recognize that like there's always turnover and we need people to not join. Like that's the truth, is that we had to slow down the growth of it because it's not Discord is not a scalable product. That's the problem. Like if you have too many people in it, then it loses what made it great in the first place. So that's why we did that. We're not making any more money from it, like because we have members that turn over. So we've dropped like 100 members, which is natural, and we don't want to pick up too many more, So that was why we did that.
Max is totally right. We would have so many people join again if we lowered the prices.
Yeah. It was intentional. So it was intentional.
No lowering prices. Nope, never going lower.
We can't, man. We can't. People don't take it as seriously when the price is low. Like people that join, as soon as we increased the price, our membership slowed and everybody started taking it more seriously. It is just a better experience. So I don't know. Like free is good for sure, but you don't get you get a lot of people that they just, because it's free, they take advantage of it and they don't take it seriously. And why would you? But if you're making a real investment monetarily and also your time, then you'll take it seriously.
It's called quality over quantity. That's it.
To answer final Briglo's question, okay, but raising prices don't help with that. Just put a stop on it and keep prices the same. So if we just stop that, so first of all, we kept the prices for the existing members, and if we just said like no one can join, right, and we are keeping the same prices, that wouldn't make any sense, if that makes sense. So we raise the prices to stop people from joining. But if someone actually wants to jump in, he can still get his quality. Like it's still worth the price right now. It just stops the insane inflow. So it's again, it's the hopefully best balance.
The thing that Andrew said also makes sense too. What Andrew Kim said, if you were in, you get grandfathered in at your original price. We didn't raise prices on everybody. Early adopters obviously got the best prices, and that's how all things work.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
The early adopters.
Early adopters of BB, early believers, got much cheaper prices than everybody else, and that's how it always should be. It should always be the original supporters, the people that believed originally, should always get the better prices, regardless of what anybody thinks. That's always my MO. And because that, a lot of you missed out because you weren't here early. You weren't here, and I understand that sucks, but this is just part of the game. It's part of business.
Bro, can you imagine if we did this like one in, one out? Like you couldn't get in unless somebody left. That would be quite something.
That's actually interesting.
It's not for everybody. It's expensive, but when you're in there and you realize that we put in I mean, bro, we do 4 hours per day of private live voice calls with Q&A, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. Like it's crazy. Like it's super, super demanding. It's the real deal, like that's why we can charge what we do. And it's like, cause it's on Discord, but it's not like a normal paid Discord, like it's,
this is the point, right? Like you should, if we're doing our jobs right, like people should be able to pay their membership off for like 10 years in like a week, right? Like that's the point.
Yeah.
No, but we've achieved that with many people. Like many of people have paid, like they made money in the group and paid the whole year because they made more than a year's worth of what it would cost them to be in the group. And I think
we have like, I mean, too, like we're about to drop BB Terminal, which is not, it's going to be a standalone product that will also have a Telegram. So it's like, you'll be able to get a ton of value from that. You won't have the calls, like the Discord calls, but it's tremendous value. But let's dive back into the markets, guys. Let's talk charts a little bit here, because I need prices to go up. Okay. Like I check price, bad price. Every day I log in, I check price down, bad price. I need the prices to go up. And I want to know, can devs do something or no? Can the devs do something, or are we doomed? Because I need price to go up.
Yeah, I agree. This guy's going to need you to calm him down, though, Max. You're going to have to.
I can calm him down. What's he upset about? I can calm him down. That's no problem.
He said, I'm holding a big bag of Pepe, and I'm sending this message to calm you down and not sell.
All right, let me
Love
tackle
it.
this one. Let me tackle this one. I need
Yeah.
absolute silence now. Okay, everybody, you ready for this?
Always.
Do not sell. Do not cheat your bags. Okay, and I'm gonna show you why. I'm gonna show you why. Let's find Pepe. Ooh, what is all this? Oh my. Oh my. We can remove this. Let's
Whoa, there's a lot of dots on there, Max.
I know, I was playing around. I was playing around. All right. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to fit this all onto one screen here. Okay, it's kind of hard because I can't make my monitor huge while we're on the show. Otherwise, it gets too blurry and then nobody can see. Okay. So I want to talk about real quick what's probably happening here. All right. For one, the majority of your altcoin gains, which include Pepe, occur when Bitcoin dominance is literally in Nukeville. All right. So here's Bitcoin dominance. And look at when Bitcoin dominance starts to nuke, that's when Doge rallies. That's when like mania commences, right? Look at the dominance chart, look at the Doge chart, right? You can get a nice move up before. Like, look at this. We marked all the way up, to 7 cents before Bitcoin dominance really rolled over. But then we pulled a 10x and went from 7 cents to, almost $1 when Bitcoin dominance nuked. So that's when the real gains happen. So where are we right now with something like Pepe? In my opinion, this is presumably where you're at right now. You've marked up aggressively, just like you did here with Doge, right before Bitcoin dominance begins to nuke. And when Bitcoin dominance finally decides it's going to nuke, that's when you're going to pull your next 10x. And then that's when the market cycle top for something like Pepe is in. So it's like you can't just look at a local time frame and be like, it's over. You have to actually look at it and go like, all right, what's happening here? Like, what's really happening here? Have we even seen alt season yet? No, we haven't. And by the way, this is in log mode. Like, let me turn this off of log mode. This is what it looks like when I don't manipulate the chart so that you can see it. This was the move that happened when Bitcoin dominance finally decided to drop. So let's look at Pepe now, right? This is somewhere around where we're at right now. Like, it's not perfect, but you haven't seen Bitcoin dominance. Like, if you saw Bitcoin dominance marked down from, 54 down to like low 40s, and it was just, and then Pepe was just sitting there and refused to move. Here, let me even remove these fibs. We don't even need these fibs. You can just look at it. Okay. If we were down here at the bottom, right? If Bitcoin dominance did this and we were down here stuck at like 43 and we couldn't really break down more and we looked like we were trying to hold like this region right here, and we just went crazy and literally pulled like a 10x or something like that, then I would say, okay, this is probably your top. I'd be like, okay, this is probably your blow off. Bitcoin dominance just nuked. We haven't seen that yet. We haven't seen even anything close to that yet. Like, I still think we're literally in the pre-rally for all your altcoins. And I can even add on like an additional point of confluence here. Let's just look at like, because I don't want to be called like a cherry picker, right? I don't want you to think I'm just cherry picking Doge, but Doge is a really, in my opinion, a prime example because it's kind of your ultimate like risk on signal, truthfully. But here, let's look at let's look at others. All right. So others is total crypto market cap minus the top 10 by name. So this is your small and mid cap altcoin index. And let's put up Bitcoin dominance as well. And let's zoom in on the last cycle. Same exact thing. Same exact thing as Doge, right? This is just your altcoin index. So what did we see last cycle again? You saw very similarly when Bitcoin finally decided to drop, your altcoin index, which again is not one ticker. This is literally everything. Look at what happened. It literally, the whole index pulled like a 4 or 5x, depending on how you want to measure it. So why would you sell any altcoins here before we've seen Bitcoin lose market share to altcoins in a measurable, prolonged fashion? It's this simple. It's this simple. I don't
Yeah,
I don't see why we would do that. Like, you're going to want to sell it like up here when Bitcoin dominance is nuked.
Max,
You know,
I have a
yeah,
question for you.
please.
Have we ever, this is to all of you guys basically, have we ever seen a cycle in crypto where Bitcoin dominance wouldn't go down?
No.
Then it's
And
not
you've
over.
never seen a cycle top put in after 18 months of uptrend for Bitcoin dominance without any Bitcoin dominance bleed. You've never seen that
Yeah.
before, ever.
And do we see a radical shift in the way US is going to approach not crypto, it's called digital assets now? Are we seeing that right now?
We are dramatically on the global stage.
Are we seeing a major ETF approvals in US?
We are.
Then why would you jitter bags right now?
I don't understand.
You listen, it's a freakish behavior to do that right now. How can you look in your children's eyes and say that you cheated at this point? Max, explain them.
I couldn't. I could never do that. I could never do that, man. I have a son. I could never do that, man. Look him in his cute
I
little
love
face,
it.
his eyes. The trust he has in me to jeet my bags would be to break his trust. I would never do that. I could never, as a man, I could never do that. I could never jeet my bags before alt season ever. It's not going to happen. No, that's called being a
Yeah.
bad father. I would never do that. I would never do that.
So essentially, guys, we are playing with probabilities like anyone else in the world. If when you are crossing a road, we are playing with probabilities that you're not gonna get hit, even if you are on a green light. It's all probabilities. What we are giving you are probabilities, but and the facts that lots of people are not seeing. Like we are behind the charts every single day for multiple hours. You come here, or BB group, or anything, to see those facts from us. At the end of the day, it's probabilities. But I do believe all of these probabilities have never been higher as they are right now. And I see lots of people out there that are just spitting emotions on you, not facts. They're like, the market is going to dump from here. It's going to go 10K, east to 12K. Sorry, not 12K, 1200. It's different. It's going to go actually to 12K. But
Yeah, ETH is going to 12K, not Bitcoin.
yeah, but what they are doing is that they'll just put up a one oscillator, say it's overbought and it's going to 10K because of that. Like zero context, nothing, right? What we are giving you are the probabilities. Essentially, it's up to you what you're gonna do with that. But I do believe that the way we do it is like superior. I don't know, up to you, but
I have a question for you guys. What are we even talking about here?
yeah.
Like I'm truly exhausted. I'm exhausted with people's lack of conviction when there is so much data pointing in favor of up. Like so much data. I look at everything. I have the best thing that I've done in my professional career is surround myself with people that are much smarter than me or much more skilled than me in certain areas. That's my superpower. It's not me, it's my ability to surround myself with people that are the best. What you're looking at is a panel, in my opinion, the dream team. You're looking at the 96 Bulls, all right? Yeah, look at that arm. That thing's a leg. I mean, these guys, they look at everything. I'm begging you, please, somebody on this panel, show me something bearish high time frame. Like, show me the risk off right now. I want you to do it. I'm begging you. I'm on my knees figuratively, pleading with you to show me why it's time to jeet my bags. I want to know right now. You know I'm open-minded. I'll consider everything if you present me with a solid case. I'm not closed off. I am not stubborn. You know I can flip on a dime. You guys have all seen it. I was super bearish. I didn't get my breakdown on ETH, in Q4. I flipped full net worth long in Q4. We've been riding it ever since. Make me a case. Jackus, you made me a case to be bullish. I didn't get what I wanted. I flipped on a dime, full net worth long. Please, somebody show me the bearish case. Like, I want to be presented with the data. Show me something, please. Anybody.
I will do that, Knox.
Please.
When the time comes.
When the time comes.
That could be months from now, Jackus. You think I have months? Come on.
Exactly.
That was clever.
The only bear case is the celebrities, right? That's literally, and that's not even there's no data, there's nothing concrete, right, that says that we should be topping, right? The equity market looks fantastic. Like, the only things you could argue are super kind of macrocentric, which I think still doesn't quite matter, right? Like, you could say rate cuts eventually are going to be bearish, but we've gone over that. So there's nothing right now, technically or otherwise, that is bearish.
So even rate cuts, right? Like, let's play with that for a little bit, right?
I mean,
when's
obviously,
the first rate cut projected to happen?
I don't think I don't even know. I don't think they're going to do it till 2025 though, unless they do one. But I think they pushed it to September. Is that right?
Yeah, so September, as of right now, September looks like potentially the first cut. I kind of agree that they might just kick it down the road, and if they do cut, it's going to end up being like let's try to pump it into the elections or something like that.
Yeah.
So even if historically, like, the first rate cut is a major risk off because something breaks, it's May 29th. So we have the rest of May. We'll just say it's June, July, August, middle of September. So 3.5 months until the first cut. So even if they had to cut an emergency cut and it's projected in September, that's 100 days away from now, minimum.
Yeah.
And also, history shows us that the first rate cut, you can get a knee-jerk reaction down, but then actually rally for a little bit after. So,
yeah, I mean, if they cut any more, if like you said, right, if it's an emergency rate cut and it's like 50 bips and something is wrong, then yeah, that's different. But if it's just like we're just gonna like start slowly lowering rates, here's a 25 cut, whatever, like, then we're good, in my opinion, right?
But that's what they've been hitting at that though.
Yeah, no, I know. If they do that, like, I'm not worried, right? Like, I think you have to look at how much they cut by, right? Like,
are you unbothered?
Yes, I am unbothered, Jackus. Even if they cut, or if they cut like 50, but they're like, oh, nothing's wrong, that would be a red flag for me, right? If they cut more than 25, I would be skeptical of what's going on. But yeah,
I don't know. Here's my. I think they achieved the soft landing, whether it be through cooking the books or whatever they did. Right.
It was cooking the books, but it's fine. Yes,
but that's okay. That's okay because we
I'm
know
cool
they're cooking the books.
Yeah.
The point, and that's why I always argue with bears, because it's like, okay, you're saying they're cooking the books. Well, if you know this, why are you not bidding? Because you don't know this. You're making shit up. Like, the rest of us that actually know they're cooking the books, we know what they're doing. So we're like, okay, we're gonna take advantage of the knowledge that we know, and we're gonna bid the market because we know they're cooking the books.
Well,
here's what I will say though. Here's what I do want to just be a little cautious in this regard, because this is what we've talked about. I mean, I remember we talked about this on the show back in 2023. Essentially the prospect of, when rate cuts finally happen, most people think it's going to be a soft landing, and then it's not. And that's not to say that I don't have faith that they can cook the books. No, I agree completely. They have been cooking the books, and that might be the reason too why you do want to pay attention if they cut rates. That's not me, doom posting or anything. That's me just playing devil's advocate, because I remember
that's reasonable though.
Like,
that's reasonable.
The sentiment when rate cuts do finally get here are going to be that there's not going to be a recession. We're completely out of the woods, and that rate cuts will probably be a positive tailwind for the market. And I don't want to necessarily just guarantee that we're going to fall into, that same line of thinking.
No, but
well,
what? Yeah, go ahead.
So when you teased the bears there, I think this could go with lots of macro guys and Bitcoin maxis, and the way you guys should really approach information, because that's what was that? Because this age is what is it all about. It's not about having lack of information. It's about the way you consume information. And it's worth listening to lots of macro guys and worth listening to lots of Bitcoin maxis. It's just in what area. And if you are looking to get an advice from Bitcoin maxi on the direction of altcoins, you're gonna get wrecked. But you want to listen to them when it comes like to BTC adoption, to understanding BTC, right? That's where their information is useful. They just have no idea when it comes to predicting market moves. The same with macro guys, right? Like they will explain how bonds work and everything very, very well. It's worth listening to them. But when they are trying to tell you how TLT is going to move, don't listen. They have no fucking idea. They are not market predictors. They cannot put the context together. That's our expertise here. But everyone has his own, and it's worth understanding what their expertise is.
Yeah, that's kind of to my point. Is like, you know,
Yeah,
they are good at to a degree at certain things, but they're horrible at others. And horrible is they know the manipulation's going on, but they refuse to play the manipulation, right?
yeah.
But they'll scream at you that it's not okay because you are playing the manipulation. And it's like, dude, I'm making money. You're sitting here coping, and that's all you're doing. You don't want me to participate because if I don't participate, you think that if everybody doesn't participate, then they'll curve their ways. No, they won't. They're not going to curve their ways at all. They're going to keep on manipulating the market. It is what it is. Like you either have to play it or you don't play it. And if you're trying to say I'm more just and I won't play it, then okay, sideline yourself. I don't give a shit. It's not affecting my money. Like, but don't sit there and preach to people that you know what you're talking about when you're telling people to sideline when there's an opportunity here for people to make money.
There is actually lots of bankers who say how extremely manipulated and corrupted the whole system is and how it's a scam. But they work for the bank. Like they're working there. They're like, our bank is part of this. I did not invent this. I want this to be different. But it's unfortunately how the system is right now, right? They are participants. But lots of other guys are like, hey, you know, it's not okay if Fed is doing QE, and like we all agree, but well, I think we are, but
I've watched people literally sit on the timeline and be like, "This is bullshit." It's like, why are you on here coping on the timeline, bro? Like, go home, have a cup of coffee, relax. Like, we all know it's bullshit. I don't agree with it either. But guess what? It's an opportunity. Take advantage of it while it's here.
yeah, Jason Lucas said, yeah, but I'm not planning to sell for USD. Buying BTC is exiting fiat, but strongly considering swapping to ETH to make more BTC. Exactly. Like, but Bitcoin Maxi would tell you should just hold Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, they'll tell you to
And
hold Bitcoin. They won't tell you to make money. They'll tell you to hold our bags so that way our floor is stronger because we have much more than you do.
and I think it's okay to like just be trying to accumulate more Bitcoin. That's kind of my strategy too. But if I see an opportunity, if is BTC, right, then I'll use it. And by the way, who are we to dictate the market? The market is dictating to us. The market is telling us what's a superior tech, right? Right
Yep.
now, it's telling the world that Bitcoin is the superior commodity to others, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I think that people just need to think outside the box. It's kind of like I've talked about this many times. Um, I'll basically state it again. You know, what is Warren Buffett trying to grow his wealth or is he trying to maintain his wealth? And I think like if you're a smart person, you think that he's trying to maintain his wealth because there's no growth in a lot of the things he picks. And so, if you're trying to maintain wealth, matching Warren Buffett makes sense. But if you're trying to grow wealth, why the hell would you try and match Warren Buffett's portfolio? And this is where I think like your MSNs confuse people and get your average person into a position of where they never really get into wealth. They may be able to keep up with inflation, which is a lot of what the rich guys are doing, but they're never going to be able to create wealth because they're not looking for opportunity. They're copy trading somebody else and improving their bag positions.
By the way, there was a comment from Leafy Gran Breyer. He asked, does the premium membership make sense for a newbie at reading charts, or is the BB Academy the better plan? Well, both are, and it really comes to your capabilities when it comes to payments. Because really, the like I would advise this, right? The BB Academy is great for someone that wants to learn reading charts, and like if you are kind of like new or mid, that then it's definitely for you. When it comes to BB membership, I would say that's for everyone. Like the amounts of info you're gonna get there is extraordinary, in a month. But it's not for everyone. Lots of people around the world, unfortunately, cannot afford it with the current pricing. It is what it is. But if you can, then it's totally for you, in my opinion. Well, you gotta try if it's for you, but I would advise you to do so. And you read lots of people's honest opinions by being in, right, in the chat. So like what I always advise to people, if you can afford it, then definitely have it. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't purchase BB Academy videos too, because those are worse quality as well. But you need to understand what each category is for. Maybe Tucker, Max wants to take it there as well.
Tucker, can you show your chart? You're on mute, Tucker.
I was about to say, are we nuking, guys? I think we're nuking. It's over. yeah. Let me pull it up on Chrome and not the desktop application.
By the way, sorry to cut you off before you start, Tucker. If you guys do decide to join, there is a link in my bio, guys. Use it, right?
Oh, Jackass.
Sneaky
Jackass. Okay. Let's see. Do I need to make this? There we go. Yeah. So I just was told that Sato is long with the liquidation at 66.6. It's clearly where we're going. So, yeah, that's probably gonna happen, right?
Double bottom.
That's probably gonna happen. Yeah, I would be shocked if we didn't get that.
Babe, please stop longing. It's not going up. Double bottom.
Let's see. I don't want to come back down here, man. I don't think we need to. I don't want to. It would not be good for our altcoin.
I'm okay with it. It's just going to continue to keep on shaking out bears and making them think that they're right. And, when it rips in their face, they're going to learn the lesson.
Yeah, but I think that would imply a lot more ranging, like that would imply like just more of this. And then, this is July, right? Like that's a long time. I don't want June to continue to be with a 6 handle. And I know, if you told me a year ago that I'd be complaining that Bitcoin is in the $60,000 range.
Good point.
But yeah, we're all ready for higher. I think everybody's ready for higher. But yeah, I would just love to set some sort of higher low, in here, right? That would be nice instead of coming all the way back down. But
Tucker, I honestly don't mind if we spend like we've experienced enough. If this is what it needs to for this to being the longest, wildest bull market in a while again, then I do not mind if we spend a little bit more time in here, because I can definitely have that for a little longer. But I think we can all agree that the chart is pretty much telling us that those highs are getting raided sooner or later. So, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna embrace.
I would like that would be nice to hold, right? The old highest previous weekly close.
Yeah.
65K. Yeah, that would be ideal, but how's the monthly look? So clean that we held that.
Who could have foreseen?
So clean that we held that line, guys. Wow.
Can you actually put that line on the other high in April?
On what time frame?
On monthly you had there. Oh.
Yeah, so clean. Even like I'm a fan of the 2-week chart also. Look at that.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if that's like a 5-minute shitcoin chart, like I'm bidding higher. I don't know. I mean, it's hard locally speaking, right? It's hard like on a low time frame. Like what? Like this is just such trash. Like like what am I gonna like? Yeah, we could come down here. Like we probably dip into this, but like that's about it, right? Like I wouldn't really want to see much lower than that, right? Like we probably just come into here or something. Yeah. Which would be fine, right? And it's probably gonna take a little, we're probably gonna have to like do some of this and some of that, some garbage, right? Some garbage. And that's your slurp spot. But either way, I think if we can like come down here and give a little bounce and then chop sideways, right? I think altcoins are gonna do super well like during this period right here, even before we do that. So
guys, I have a bold statement, and you guys can call me on this. But if I win, then I want something. But I think that BTC top this cycle doesn't come anything below 150K.
150.
And I do not think it comes anything below that.
Wow. That would be quite the move. What would that be? Like a 2x from here? 2.5? Yeah. I mean, yeah, like given historical trends of what Bitcoin does after all-time high breaks and whatnot, 2.5x is nothing, right? Like that is probably accounting for, the increase in market cap and diminished volatility and whatnot, but 2.5x isn't that much to ask for, I feel like. But
I was actually making a tweet, not sure if it was this week or when it was, but I was saying that so many people are, and you guys can let me know what you think of this, but so many people are focused on 100K, but to me it's just another level. Like $1 at some point was a crucial psychological level. $10 was a psychological level. $100 was 1,000, 10,000. Look what happened when the price approached it. It just smashed through it, right? But back then, when price was approaching 1,000, and it was like 1,000, the price is gonna crash there. Guess what happens when price approached 1,000? It went to 1,400. Guess what happened when price approached 10K? It went to 20K, right? So I do not think that 100K is going to do much to the price, to be honest.
yeah, where did I draw this from?
I do not. Bruegel asking, what do you think about Master Monitor? Is best case target 91K for Bitcoin as all-time high this cycle? I do not agree with it, and I do not think that's going to be the case for this cycle. That said, he probably has reasons for that, right? And I'm not saying like maybe he's seeing something I'm not, But given my experience to know myself and the things I look at, I do not think that's going to be the case. But obviously, I'll be approaching the market level to level, and if we were to top there, I would kind of see it. But I think it would still take time to unfold. So I think, again, I do not think the top for the cycle comes anything below 150K.
Let's just look at ETH real quick.
I think it's going to give that little pullback to 3,600 after all.
Yeah, I do too. Right there, right here.
But I'll be bidding it personally. I still think ETH's going to outperform Bitcoin over the next few weeks.
Yeah, big time. Like, we are just getting started, Tommy. And that's to what I said. I think so many people will be like they've been frustrated for so long that when the first upside comes, they'll be like, all right, this was it, I'm selling. And then that's going to be the beginning of the move. It's going to listen, it's going to exactly like when Bitcoin broke from 25K to 31, and lots of people were like, all right, that was like the bear market rally. And then it went to 74K.
It's going one of these directions, guys. It's going one of these directions.
Very bold.
Very bold claim. Yes.
Wow.
Take your pick.
What do we think about Solana here?
USD?
Yes.
I think it can come back a little lower and then higher.
Me too. You looking at that like 145 region as well? Or no?
Sorry, what region?
Like that 145, 150 region?
All the way back to the trend? No, we can't be losing the trend now, Tommy.
I do not think 145, but I think like 160. I would have to open my chart. I do not have it up right now.
We will protect that line.
I think 160 or something like that.
155, 160. Yeah.
With haste?
Not with haste, no. Slowly. Nice and slow. And then with haste.
What's the saying? First slowly, then all at once?
Yes.
Bruegel, what do you think about the 0.75 rule in TA? You mean like the Fibonacci? Alice is using it a lot. Do you, or you don't because you don't trade? So I actually do trade.
Just not. You don't trade.
Just don't. I don't trade lower time frames. But I certainly do. And about the 0.75, I suppose you mean the Fibonacci. So what's it's basically doing is that it's telling you where price is in discount. So you can take any swing and you can divide it, by like quarters, and then anything sub equilibrium is cheap, and anything sub 0.75 is oversold or overbought, depending on what you do. But again, I wouldn't lean to like my greatest power is context, and that's because I'm not gonna lean to Fibonacci or that or this, right? I think lots of those are very useful. I think using moving averages as support and resistances is useful. I love that.
Wait, you say they are SR? Yeah.
Yeah.
You're on my team. Okay, yeah, you're on my team.
I'm on your team with this.
Good.
but
I know you're on the opposite side of that.
I know.
But generally speaking, these are all confluences, and the best thing to use is the context with everything. So whatever you think is useful, then use it, but draw context for it.
What price is that pullback?
157.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
I mean, you're talking about 6%. That could happen in a 1 minute candle.
That's
That's fine, bro.
that's hopes and dreams, man. That's hopes
I
and
mean,
dreams.
I hope
No,
it goes up, but
I'm just playing. People hate when
like
I
you
say
said,
that.
why not? Why not?
Oh man. Yeah, I mean it's possible. It's not a big deal though. It's not a big deal. I think like people have to understand you got Iggy over here doing her thing, trying to come in and you know take advantage of the liquidity. You got a bunch of different people in the space trying to take advantage of liquidity when celebrities. You got people fanboying, trying to get a follow and a like and a retweet because they're that desperate. Like like I question whether people are here for attention or here for money. Like
Yeah.
seriously, like it could be. They're like, oh, if I get big enough, I can scam people too. No, you can't. You're not going to get as big as that. You don't have a talent. You're just hoping for a retweet so you can get more followers, but you don't have a talent. Like, just make money. Like, what are people trying to do here? Like, ignore these celebrities. They're gonna freaking take all your money.
I do agree, Will, that you actually need talent for scamming people. Like you actually do. Like some people are really good at it.
Yeah, these are people that are in the music industry, actors, and these are people that are used to finessing people. That's why they have talent. They are going to finesse you. And I think that people don't understand that. Like, you are going to give your generational wealth opportunity to a celebrity. Like, let me ask you: are you buying any of these, Tommy? Are you buying any of these celebrity coins?
No, I'll tell you what I have been buying though, Will.
Hmm.
Bitcoin puppets.
Tommy,
Hey, that's
cop
real.
one right now, bro. Relax.
You can even say Miladies now that Max is out.
No, I think Miladies will do great over the next few weeks. Miladies are the best ETH NFT because they are the exact antithesis of what NFTs in 2021 were, which were just like status symbols, cringe, et cetera, et cetera. And Miladies are literally the exact opposite. Based, schizo, doesn't make any sense why you would want to pay so much money for it, but it works. Yeah, no, I think Miladies will do well. If ETH runs hard over the next few weeks, Miladies will probably run a few multiples, even though, I mean, I want to say they're probably trading like 15 to 20K a pop right now.
Isn't that what
I'm
puppets are? What are puppets at? Like 12K?
Yeah, a little less than that, I think, right now. But yeah, no, I think puppets will go a good bit higher over the next few months too. Obviously, that's why I'm buying them.
Yeah.
I feel like ordinals and runes and all that stuff is in a lull, which is okay because if it's in a lull, that's perfect buying opportunity for me. Um, I like to buy things at discounts, not at overpriced valuations. So I'm okay with them going deeper. I'm perfectly okay with it because if they go deeper, I can accumulate more. It is what it is. Um,
I
and
think puppets are
especially
bottoming.
runes.
I think
Huh?
puppets are bottoming, and if that's true, you're probably seeing other ordinals and runes bottom as well. Because I think STX is bottoming.
Yeah, what is this? We got to hold this, boys. We can't be going. No, no, no. What are we thinking here? We thinking this is it? We thinking we stab?
I mean, could stab. I think it'll
No,
hold.
I think we're gonna consolidate for a while, Tucker. I'm just gonna be real. Like
I
maybe
can't. I
deep,
can't be
maybe
having. I can't be having any stabs down in this region, brother.
Why
you
not?
have support. You have support, so you can have stabs there.
But I can't have it. Well, I can't have it. Study margin, brother. Study Yeah, I punted an STX long the other day.
Well, if you are in a margin position, you are absolutely screwed.
No, 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 brother. Tight invalidation, easy. Look
Study,
at this.
look, study
Study
loss
this.
of generational wealth through margin.
Study,
All
study
right.
that
Tucker,
RR, brother.
Tucker.
Yes.
I want you to delete everything from STX chart, or just put another one. go on the weekly time frame and draw a single line that is most obvious.
I mean,
No, I want you to use the left side of the chart, and then use the magnet.
I mean, there's a lot of lines you could draw here.
There's only one. You can even use zone if you want to, but
What are you thinking? Oh, use a zone, you said?
you must be seeing that one. It's going to be a low volume node there as well.
Yeah,
You can either use the volume profile, or you can use exactly.
I kind of like this.
Yeah, maybe slightly higher, but yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. You see how price has been respecting that level on the weekly? It flipped it to the upside. It's coming back to retest it. This is not a G zone.
You have that high end retest, but you could go deeper into that low end retest too. Don't ignore that first pump.
I'm going to ignore it, Will.
You have that consolidation range. You can dip into that.
I'm just telling you right now, I will be ignoring that.
You've already violated that high. You can dip into that. I'm just saying.
We'll be all right, brother. We'll be all right.
Yeah. So this is a lower time frame, and price can definitely dip down there on a lower time frame. But given how much time we spent around here, I think it holds pretty well.
Yeah. Study no stop loss, only cross margin. That's what needs to be studied. Oh, man. I like it here. I think it's juicy.
I mean, it's still, as long as you still have money in your account on your cross margin account, you'll be fine. If you're maxed out and tapped, you're screwed.
No, yeah.
It's legit. It's legit like Bitcoin. It's legit like Bitcoin when it was at 57K STX right now. Basically.
Yeah, I am unbothered, guys. I am completely unbothered.
If STX even makes another run back to the high, I think you see ordinals pop off again. Honestly, and if not ordinals, I think Bitcoin puppets, if nothing else, will pop off because they're the best ordinal. And people will have shitcoin profits that they're going to want to rotate into fine art because that's what people do.
I mean, this was part of the reason I took it too.
Is there any better fine art than Bitcoin puppets?
There's not, Will. To answer your
This
question, there's not.
is stupid descriptions here, man.
Yeah. What do you guys think of the runes protocol or the rune or like any stuff there?
That's a question for Will, I think.
Probably.
Because I haven't been dealing as much with the runes, more with the ordinals.
I'm up on my runes, bro, big time. But
where do you buy them? Where do you buy them?
You could buy them on Magic Eden, but apparently they're stopping supporting them. Thank you for reminding me of that. Thank you. And so apparently in the wallet, I was reading one of the messages. It says we're gonna stop providing support for runes. Please move all runes from your wallet, not our wallet, but move all runes from your wallet to another wallet. So what it sounds like to me is that Magic Eden got on board, played along, doesn't see the future in runes, is now exiting the rune game, used it as an opportunity to grab liquidity, and then later on we'll regret that and reinstate runes or whatever later. But I would get all runes, and if you are getting runes for any type of that you're holding or think you will get runes, I would remove those ordinals too because you aren't going to be able to receive them on their end. So I think like with runes, this is very bullish when you start to see. I know some people will argue the difference. They'll be like, "Oh, you're starting to see D-lists and starting to see people not lose interest." Yeah, losing interest is the ideal place to look for opportunity. You're not looking for opportunity where everybody is looking at the same time. There's no opportunity if there's 1,000 people looking at the same thing you're looking at. Guess what? That means prices are probably already priced in. If nobody's looking where you're looking and people are starting to capitulate where you're looking, I think that's where your opportunity lies. But I did want to say one more thing, and that is the puppets are the first creation within the crypto space when it comes to ordinals that was made by a true autist. All right,
Yes.
the first and only autist.
Artist or autist?
Both.
Autist.
I mean, they probably created them
Little
in
pun.
Microsoft Paint, but man, I love the puppets because they touch on that. We talked about it on the Discord call this morning. Like they touch on that neuroticism side that you want to see from meme coin cults and communities, but they also obviously they touch on the ordinal sector as well. And I what I like about Bitcoin network, because obviously like shitcoining on Bitcoin it has a long way to go, and I think we can all agree on that. But that's also where the opportunity is as well. You know, investing in Bitcoin infrastructure and DeFi will probably yield very huge returns, in my opinion, over the next few years. But I like the current slate right now for Bitcoin. If you're to use the network, it's a pain in the butt. It literally takes 20 minutes to get a transaction in and all that good stuff. But I think it lends less favorably to shitcoining at the moment and more favorably to storing wealth in potentially something like an ordinal or like an NFT, a JPEG. You know, it's a way to spend your Bitcoin. And for Bitcoin whales, I mean, they've been sitting on so much money in Bitcoin, probably looking for a way to spend a lot of it, which was a big reason why ETH NFTs exploded as they did in 2021. So I think those things kind of lend more favorably, at least right now. I think, you know, Bitcoin network is probably more favorable to ordinals than runes, but that will shift obviously as infrastructure within Bitcoin DeFi starts to improve. It's just so nascent still.
No, Smash, you said it wrong. So the way it works is autist. AUSTIST. Okay? If you know, you know.
Oh, will. Sorry, just adding margin. No, I'm kidding. Just aggressively adding margin.
While you were fudding STX, I deposited millions to long.
Adding more collateral. No, I'm trying to buy one of these crown puppets, man. That's what I'm trying to do.
Those will be the best puppets, man. Any puppet with like the Bitcoin symbol on it is just a great aesthetic for the puppets. But I'm not usually good at buying for traits. That's the only thing. I usually just stick to floors.
Yeah.
But I like the Bitcoin traits.
Same.
And Tommy, I just wanted to add, I think that runes are just one step away, or BRC20s are actually only one step away from full adoption. And that step is simply an AMA, or AMM, sorry, an automated market maker. I
No,
think
you're
if they can get that, it's over. You can go.
if they can simplify transactions for shitcoiners that like to do a lot of transactions, I think that's going to play a big role as well. And that's probably a long-term bull case on something like Stacks, the Bitcoin layer 1, as it claims to be. But
the Bitcoin layer 1, we really need to hold this, man. This needs to happen.
I'll tell you what, when I look at Ethereum, man, Tucker, can you scroll to the 2017, 2018 cycle for Bitcoin?
Yes. The 2017, 2018 cycle.
Yes. I'll get the exact date for you.
Okay. Boom, boom, boom. What would we want? BLX, maybe? No.
Scroll to October of 2017 on Bitcoin.
Let's see.
Let me know when you're done cooking, Tommy. I have a question when you're done.
Oh, I got a brief light cook here. It should be the perfect in between.
Would you say October up in here?
Yeah, no, October. Can you get a bit more granular on the time frame? Like 12-hour?
12-hour. I don't know if it'll give me that many bars. Actually,
Oh,
yeah, it
well.
should. Yeah.
So
October was right in here.
yeah, look at what ETH is doing right now. I see some similarities there. I see some similarities there.
Okay, so
It's not exactly the same, right? But the way it's kind of consolidating after a huge rip up, I do see some similarities to it. And I just kind of given my bias on Ethereum outperforming Bitcoin pretty drastically here, it wouldn't surprise me to see this sort of price action play out over the next few weeks and months.
So wait, where do you think we are exactly here?
Like October, like mid-October, basically.
Oh, like in here.
Yes.
Let's see.
Get on like the 4-hour for Ethereum right now. You can probably see it even more.
Yeah.
The longer we spend here, not even taking March high on Ether, the more violent the breakout is going to be. I become more bullish the longer we don't take the March high.
Yeah.
Like people do not understand. Study breakouts.
Yeah. Something like this.
Super
Please
bullish.
work. Yes. Okay.
And I did overlay the fractal. It does have the golden GCR prediction finally playing out. So
That's
10,000
basically yeah, I didn't even pull the full thing, but
Yeah.
also you can probably pull this down a little bit, but high or
That's
low, right?
what I-
Gotta set. We did that. We need one of these, and then we need a little.
we call that vertical accumulation, Tucker.
Yes. Yes, one of these. Yeah. Boom, boom.
The only question to me is where Bitcoin is at. Like, I have no clue. I just know I think ETH is going to outperform it to a pretty substantial degree. And that risk will probably do well while that occurs. But I'm much more confident on what I think ETH can do versus Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a total question mark to me.
Yeah.
That would
We
be
were just
cool.
in parabola this whole time, though. It's crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. Like if you look at again, we Max touched on it lightly this morning, but the whole presidential election, man, just have continuous upside from there for at least the next year. I think a lot of people don't really take that into account. I think new presidents, whether it be a second election or a first, um, they always bring in a new invigoration of the market that eventually goes away a year after being, ignited, and that recreates your bear market 2.0.
Well, if I had to guess, if we do have some sort of blow off here into the election, we probably have like an expedited consolidation. I mean, people will call it a bear market because prices will drop, but like I would assume it's an expedited process, right? Because we talked about earlier in the show, the projected timing for liquidity cycle top is 2026, 2027. So I have to imagine for me, the real blow off top in crypto was always more likely to be in 2026, 2027 than I often hear 2025. But I think liquidity makes more sense that we see it maybe a year or two after that. So if we do get some sort of blow off before the election, like in between that and obviously, the liquidity cycle picking up, I'd have to imagine there's going to be loads of favorable opportunities in altcoins. It'll probably be a bigger version, honestly, of what we saw last spring, where you had Bitcoin and ETH do their thing, and then you had on-chain summer for basically 3 or 4 months after that. So I'd have to imagine you'd see a lot of opportunity, even though the price of majors would probably have a good bit of volatility, locally speaking. And I'd have to imagine like any consolidation after that sort of blow off top would be like I said, people might view it as a bear market, but I don't think from a timing standpoint, it would be anything like a bear market. It would be very expedited if we were to see something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure STX is bottomed here, boys. Pretty sure, man. Pretty sure.
He's trying to convince himself.
Yeah, let me just cope silently. Actually out loud.
Tucker, you need to study Masoi. You need to study Masoi. Do you know who's Masoi?
No.
It's our super chat. He actually donated €5 today. So if you look and highlight this, if you highlight that super chat, and instead of Pepe, you're gonna add STX to yourself. So you need to do that right now. You need to donate 5. Well, you can go with dollars, but
am I better off doing euros or dollars?
Doesn't matter.
All right, this dude really wants a Pepe chart though, so he's been asking for Pepe for a minute.
So you need to do but you need to do this, man. You need to do the super chat and write, I'm holding a big bag of STX and I'm sending this message to calm me down and not sell.
I also feel pretty confident. I mean, maybe you get some wicks lower, but I mean, man, I look at STX, man, and I cannot unsee the FTM summer 2021 comparisons. Like the chart, so many layer ones look like some of these VC scams. Like layer ones of last cycle coming out of the summer look like the VC scams of right now, where they had the huge dip, they had the die or the death of volatility in the range that followed. Maybe they retested the low, maybe they didn't. But when they started to curl up, and that's what I'm looking for with STX. Like when it starts to curl up, I mean, you have a little bit of time and a little bit of slow grind, and then it's going to run really hard. And I kind of think that's what some of these coins are going to do. Not all of them, right? Not every BC scam, but some of them.
Yeah, I definitely front ran that, unfortunately, which is fine.
There was also super chat from Jason. I'm not sure if we read that one.
75% of port is in Bitcoin from prior cycles. Is it worth the massive tax hit to swap to ETH? Any Bitcoin? No. In my opinion, no. No.
So that depends on, I suppose he's from US and I do not know what tax you have guys down there, but like my expectation from ETH BTC is that ETH BTC goes, wait, let me calculate. In this cycle from current prices, I think it goes, I would say 100% higher. So it's up to you to decide whether that's worth it for you or not. But that's my expectation from ETH BTC. And I do not know what's your tax in your country.
It's not good, brother. It's not good. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Study this for Pepe. Okay.
Well, it kind of depends, Tucker. It depends on whether you got $100 in Bitcoin or $100,000 in Bitcoin or $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, wait, he said 75% of his port is, I don't know. I mean,
we don't know his port size, though.
Yeah. And what, if you've had any losses, you can offset them and whatnot in the last few years. So that's an accountant type of question. I mean, look, my bias at least, is that altcoins are going to outperform Bitcoin to a crazy degree for the next 12 months. So, I mean, do with that information what you will. I don't know about the intricacies of your tax situation, but yeah.
No, I think the accountant conversation, definitely settled it right there. Like, I would definitely ask an accountant. We're not that person. We could tell you charts, but we can't account your your portfolio for you.
Definitely not.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
I got a lot
that's
of
not the expertise.
Let's see.
That's alpha right there, though, guys. Hire a good accountant if you're serious about crypto.
It is
Hire
alpha.
it.
It is indeed alpha.
But we've been going for about an hour and a half, guys. I think this is a pretty good spot to wrap up. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. We went a little long today, but I felt like we shared a lot of great alpha. I am very excited for the next few weeks. No lower time frame price action or shenanigans can change my mind on that unless something really substantial starts to change. So we'll continue to give you guys our thoughts and feedback on what we're seeing in the markets, as well as what we're expecting going forward. But yeah, we hope you enjoyed the show. Before you leave, a few housekeeping measures. A reminder that we have finally launched our new hedge fund, BB Wealth Management. So we can finally talk about that. We are beyond excited that we can do that. It's really been over a year in the works from just the back end legal framework that had to be established for us to be able to get it set up. But can finally is launched. We're taking, we're raising now. So if that is something that interests you guys, just a general overview of the fund. It's a long, short fund, so we can trade both directions, run by the BB team, and it involves trading and investing in digital assets. Of course, we utilize all of our experience in markets to navigate in a way that takes into account both crypto's historic propensity for upside, as well as the investment risks posed in any market. So if that interests you guys, you're interested in potentially having the team here at BB manage your capital, make sure we do have some more information linked in the description of this video below. So check that out. We can get in contact with you and all that good stuff. But also the BB Academy, guys, what did we raise the price to? I missed that, by the way.
I don't think we decided quite yet, but that is going to happen.
Oh no,
we are raising the price this week, guys.
Yeah,
this
week.
Week.
I don't remember what we settled on.
That is an
it
absolute
must happen.
It will happen. And I know I've said that, but I mean, if you were listening to yesterday's show, you know we are 100% raising the price on BB Academy this week. This is your last chance to take advantage of a heavily discounted price on the BB Academy, which is currently $199. But it is going to go up very substantially. We've kept it at a low price because we're excited about the opportunity that we're coming into as a market. Obviously, alts look very prime to run. ETH looks very prime to run. The entire market looks very bullish. So if you want to get more tidbits, more information on kind of the individual niches that we all use to trade within these markets, we do have more information to that or for that linked in the description of this video. So make sure to check that out as well. Lastly, guys, our programming. If you're a market check enjoyer, you know we'll be back as always every weekday, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we hope you guys enjoy the show and enjoy the cooking that we do. We talk about a lot of things. We love to joke. We love to have fun. So if you've enjoyed this week's show, it's a pretty good idea of what you can expect on Market Check most of the time. But yeah, also not to forget our flagship show, Market Talk. That is a Twitter space hosted by the legendary King Wabi. He does a great job, and those shows will always take a bit of a flavor based on who the guest speakers are. So make sure to tune in for that as well, because Wabi does a great job on those shows. But that's enough yapping for me. That is all from us, guys. We hope that you have a fantastic rest of your Wednesday, a fantastic rest of your week. If we don't see you again for Market Check, hopefully we do, though. Hopefully we do. We'll be cooking tomorrow, like I said, same time as always. But y'all have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for tuning in. And as always, stay safe.